It's recap time. I bring you one more recap. Today I'll explain a movie called The Warrior's Way from 2010. The film begins with the heroic introduction of Yang, a legendary warrior belonging to the Sad Flute clan. The warrior Yang must eliminate an enemy clan to establish dominance over his order and claim victory over them. In a series of action-packed montages, Yang can take down the enemies one by one. However, in order to reign supreme, he has to eliminate each and everyone from the enemy group. This is when he realizes that the last one remaining is none other than the leader's newborn daughter. Yang makes a tough choice. He spares the life of the newborn daughter and becomes the enemy of his own people. The Sad Flute clan decides to go after Yang and attack him to finish the job that he left incomplete. Yang is able to overpower the attack. He goes back to his home and makes another tough choice. Yang burns down the house and leaves for the US to find his friend and settle there. In this journey, he takes the newborn daughter with him. The leader of the Sad Flute comes after Yang, but it is of no use. The warrior had already left for his new journey. Upon looking carefully, the clan leader finds a clue that leads him toward the United States as well. The leader gathers his warrior men and marches towards Yang's new location. Meanwhile, Yang arrives on a new soil. As soon as he lands there, he is informed that his friend had died 3 years ago. This leads him to the middle of nowhere, in a foreign land, with a newborn daughter to take care of. Yang runs into 8-Ball, a circus member and old friend of Yang's associate, who leads him to a place to stay. The place is shown as an old laundry house, where Yang can spend the rest of his days peacefully, without any risk or threat. Soon enough, a woman by the name of Lin launches a stick attack on Yang. Even though the masterful warrior could dodge the attack and defeat her, he chooses to act completely ignorant, thereby concealing his true identity. The stick breaks on impact, and Yang is able to convince Lin that he means no harm. This is when Lin clarifies that he believed him to be a warrior, and thus attacked him in the first place. Lin also helps Yang learn the business of laundry and run it by himself. She also states that Yang's friend used to teach him about sword fighting. Later on, Lin takes it upon herself to name the baby April, when Yang learns about the nitty-gritty details of running a laundry business. He opens his shop the very next day. At first, he is met with a trio of good-for-nothing teenagers who try to bully the warrior. In time, 8-Ball arrives and rescues Yang from the bullying teenagers. After a while, Yang starts to absorb the daily routine of an ordinary guy. He mingles with the circus troupe, which immediately likes him. They all seem to be on good terms with Yang, except Ron. Yang overlooks the construction of the Ferris wheel and takes notice of Lin learning to throw knives. Moreover, Yang lands at Lin's house and listens to music for the very first time in his life. This leads him to more ordinary things, like playing together with the group and initiating his gardening skills. The more Yang connects with Lin and the gang, the more he becomes interested in a peaceful way of life. One fine day, Yang also learns about the sad past of Lin. When he watches Lin going towards the cemetery, 8-Ball tells him that Lin's parents and family were shot down by an evil man, and that Lin was also shot, but she survived. Upon learning about the tragic past of Lin, the warrior Yang becomes more sympathetic towards her. He also helps her to get her aim right by presenting himself as an object to throw the knives at. Somehow, Lin becomes better at aiming while blindfolded and expresses her gratitude to Yang. This is when Lin calls Yang by his real clan name. She also states that she knew about his real identity because of stories from his friend. Yang also shares his real-life story with Lin about how he was raised in the clan. Lin also gifts Yang a necklace, which reminds Yang of the first gift that he had ever received, which was a dog. Initially, gifted to him by the Saddest Flute, the leader of the clan. Yang also showcases his old sword, revealing that he will never use it again. He also resumes Lin's training session with the short swords, and the two bond with each other. Back at the waters, the Sad Flute clan overtakes a ship and eliminates everyone on it. It is revealed that they are after Yang and will not stop till they find him. The Saddest Flute leads the groups and explains that they will definitely find the warrior once they land on the shores. Meanwhile, everything is going smoothly in Yang's life, including his laundry business and gardening activities. Moreover, when the entire town celebrates Christmas and gets together to dance, Yang shies away. Lin gets to him, and they both start practicing the fight. This is when the duo gets close to each other for the first time. However, Yang remains clueless as to what he should do next. The twist in the story happens when the evil man, aka the Colonel, arrives and starts to torture the townspeople. At first, when Ron tries to intervene, he is dragged off from the scene by the other men. Later on, the evil Colonel shoots the circus clown in the foot and decides to stay for the night. A furious Lin is tied to a pole by the town people. They are well aware of Lin's past with the Colonel and prevent her from taking revenge. Meanwhile, Yang takes over the short swords and leaves. Lin also frees herself using a knife. The evil Colonel chooses a woman from the townspeople, and when she runs off to her husband, the Colonel shoots them both. This is when both of her daughters, who were in hiding, arrive at the scene. The evil Colonel chooses them instead. Lin arrives out of nowhere and offers her to the Colonel as a pretense to eliminate him. When Yang learns that Lin has escaped, he finally breaks the seal from his sword. This is when the saddest flute hears the sound of the sword seal being broken, and commands his men to go in the direction. When Lin finally tries to attack the evil Colonel, she is outsmarted. It is revealed that the Colonel knew from the start who Lin was, and now holds her at gunpoint. Right at the time, Yang arrives. He makes use of his sword skills to eliminate each and every one of the evil gang members. However, the Colonel makes use of Lin to escape the scene. Just in time, Lin manages to throw a knife at the escaping Colonel. She even gets him and eliminates him. Soon enough, it is revealed that the Colonel has escaped and that it was someone else in his place. After this set of events, Yang decides to leave the town. He assumes that the clan members will be coming after him and that he needs to leave before he causes harm to the townspeople. This is when 8-Ball convinces him to stay, as he mentions that the Colonel is still alive and that they are in danger. Yang decides to stay, and 8-Ball assures that they have the protection of Ron as well. Then he goes on to reveal that Ron was once an outlaw and that his weapons are now buried. The weapons are dug up, and Ron gets his cowboy attire to Yang's laundry. This is when Yang and Ron reveal that they knew about each other's past. As one outlaw can smell another outlaw, the two share this moment of reflection on their past and prepare for the next fight. Yang also shares a moment of reflection with Lin, who expresses her desire to be with him once all this is over. She reveals that he can take her and April with him when he leaves. Moreover, the town also sets up a lot of traps for the oncoming danger. During the night, Ron states to Yang that he quit being an outlaw because of his promise to his wife, and 8-Ball's affirmation has made him pick his weapon again. He also advises to keep loved ones away while they are in this hellhole. Yang also hands over the short swords to Lin and waits for the next day. The entire town prepares to fight the evil Colonel's men. When the evil men arrive, they fall for the trap and get themselves blown into the mines. The dust cloud that generates helps Yang and the team to eliminate the bad guys one by one. The evil Colonel gets inside the circus troupe space but faces another trap. This is when they take notice of Ron aiming at them from the top of the Ferris wheel. Just when the townspeople believe that they have overpowered the bad guys, they start to hit them back. Meanwhile, Ron slides to safety and blows up the Ferris wheel. To everyone's surprise, the Sad Flute clan arrives and starts to fight with the Colonel's men. Upon seeing this, Yang handovers April to Lin and gets into the fight himself. Lin hands over April to 8-Ball and gets herself into the fight. Yang starts to eliminate the bad guys on both sides, and soon takes notice of Lin. They both close in to find April and find that 8-Ball is dead. Moreover, the evil Colonel has taken April with him. The Colonel takes the baby with him, and Yang follows him behind. The warrior eliminates the bad guys and takes April with him. However, he leaves the job of eliminating the Colonel to Lin. A fight ensues between them, and the Colonel overpowers Lin. Initially, the evil Colonel seems to be winning the fight, but later on, Lin seeks her revenge by eliminating the Colonel once and for all. The scene shifts to the final battle between Yang and the Saddest Flute. At first, we get to know that Yang might not be able to eliminate the clan leader. This is because once he was made to eliminate his dog, the Saddest Flute was gifted to him, and he was hesitant in the process. The Saddest Flute advises him to let them eliminate April, as she will remain their enemy. Yang refuses, and the fight ensues. Upon realizing that Yang will go to any extent to safeguard his new family, the Saddest Flute offers himself as a prideful leader. The fight ends, and Yang makes the tough decision to not only leave Lin, but also baby April. The warrior leaves the town to ensure the safety of the loved ones, just like Ron advised. In the last few scenes, we find Yang selling fish as he is encountered by a number of assassins. Yang goes on to eliminate them, and the film ends on this note. I hope you liked this movie recap. Please comment on what you liked about this movie and what scene you liked, and don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next video.